Hello, guys, and welcome. This is Apollo 25, and I'm your host, Gabriel. And so today we're looking at a very interesting subject. But before I advance and go straight to what I want to say, please, if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit that notification button, and subscribe to our page. And our notification will let you know whenever we bring you new contents that pertains to relationship, dating, and all that. If this is your first time of coming across our YouTube channel, so welcome back. It's important that we understand the dynamics of relationship, and today we're looking at something that happened with Tinder. Tinder, there was this case that went haywire, and a movie was bettered out of it by Netflix. It had to do with dating apps. I'm married. I met my spouse not on a dating app, on a one-to-one, and the stories that have been coming on Tinder has not been very quite pleasant. This was a story that had to do with an American Jew who had a way of preying on women who were vulnerable. He will come, he will spend his money on them, lavish expenses, give them this impression that he was who he claimed to be, but was not. And at the end of the day, he scammed a lot of women over a period of time, huge sums of money. Some of those women were indebted for years, many went bankrupt and their likes. And at the end of the day, he wasn't really fined or anything serious was done to him. He still got away with minor charges in Israel, and he's at the time of that movie, he was dating a model, a global model, and somehow, technically, he got away with his lifestyle. So today we're looking at the content. How safe is it dating people on dating apps? I think for me that the government needs to bring in more restrictions and tighter restrictions on online dating apps that could be able to hold people accountable for certain actions and deeds that they get involved in. In other words, you're able to also beyond that bring up informations about these people's past. We're able to know them to an extent who we are dealing with, because there are a lot of predators, there are a lot of crazy people, there are a lot of psychopaths that are out there looking for who to prey. Vice versa, in the way it is with men, is also the way it is with women, and so it is very important that we are safeguarded from this danger. So I want you to watch this video clip, and we'll be back and we'll talk about what we are about to view.
New fear unlocked for anyone dating. I was told the most insane story over the weekend. Of course, I have to share it with you. This story is about a friend of a friend of a friend. So I don't know who this is. Sorry if this is you. So this girl goes on a Tinder date and they vibe, get on really well, have a really good date. So she goes home with him and she spends the night. She obviously liked him and they had a bit of a connection and he seemed normal. Then a couple of days after the date, she starts to feel a little bit not right down there. So she goes to the doctor, obviously thinking, this guy's giving me something. So the doctor does some tests and gives her some antibiotics. A few days later, she gets a phone call from the doctor and he says, you need to come in ASAP. Obviously, she freaks out. Like, I would freak out. Like, what is this? So she goes back to the doctor. He sits her down and says, we need the details, the name, the number, the address, everything of the person that you slept with. You would literally be thinking, what the hell is going on, right? So the doctor explains, we have found out what's going on down there. And it's not your standard. And he proceeds to explain to her that she has bacteria down there. And that bacteria can only be found one place. This is where my jaw dropped. That bacteria is only found inside dead bodies. I'll let you process that for just a second.
Hold on.
The guy had obviously with a dead body and then with her. I literally don't think I would get over this. So obviously the police got involved. He was investigated. Turns out that he did work somewhere that had access to dead bodies. I'm guessing a morgue. And he was arrested. And I think he's in prison. There are so many fears about dating, and this has just added to the list quite high up.
Oh my gracious. You know what? The data came out that that's why they don't want to hire men at funeral parlors, morgues, and stuff like that, because people who have that fetish or that fantasy are seeking jobs there so that they can have access to these corpses so that they can defile them. Now, this is a hearsay, so we don't know how true this is, but we do know what the data shows. And the data shows that this is why that funeral parlors, morgues, places that have that process people who are no longer alive, that they are reluctant to hire men because of how the men defile the corpses. Unbelievable. This is and then he was doing it unprotected, and then how did the bacteria get on? Oh, God. Yeah. Be very, very careful out there. Very, very careful. Because I'm reading this book on evolutionary psychology right now that does a deep dive. And it's talking about how men have evolved to be very interested in intercourse, preoccupied with climaxing, that their hormones really drive them to just want to copulate. And it's like, these people are not exhibiting self-control. They feel that if it goes up, that something got to happen to make it go back down. And this is too much. These are the leaders. Ugh, they can't even trust themselves. Oh, gosh, this is terrible, terrible, terrible.
Oh, welcome back. Wow. I have just few things to say, and I would like to know what your opinion, your thoughts are in the comment segment. For me, the whole idea of going on a date is to get to know a person. You know, for me, meeting someone and sleeping with a person on your first day on a date is, for me, is a no go area, because for you to be able to open up yourself as a woman, give yourself wholly to a man, you should be able to know who he is. You should be able to have some emotional connection with this person. And so you see the danger of what happened. This man in particular, ended up spreading a disease that he got from sleeping with cops, presumably from a morgue where he had one time worked for or worked with, and had ended up transmitted the disease to this lady, the infection, because she didn't know him very well. She didn't get to know him very well. She didn't know his upbringing. Maybe they just came and he felt she was fine, and she too felt he was fine, and maybe they were just tipsy on wine, and the rest of what had transpired led to this unfolding of a crazy series of events. And so I think for me, my advice to women out there is that you need to be more cautious. You need to be more cautious. We have hunters, we have predators out there who are looking for women who are desperate, vulnerable, weak, to prowl on. And so guard yourself. So I want to know what your opinion, your thoughts are in the comment section. Thank you.